we're not done. Rumor mill is just working overtime. Let's just quickly go through some hot topics here.
Yeah, there's your guy, Sean. Scott Boras.
Your guy has had a lot to say in the first 2 days of the GM meetings in Vegas. They set up this corner in the lobby, and they set up a banner with Scott Boras's logo for his firm.
Oh, my God.
And then they put it out on public media. Press conference, Scott Boras, 1 p.m.
No way.
And he is telling you what he thinks. Scott Boras went public first day of the GM meetings. And, of course, he ran through the dialogue of all of his clients. Cody Bellinger, 5-tool all-star. Yankees want to keep him. Boras is talking to the Yankees and everybody else. The polar bear, Pete Alonso. He said, power hitter payday coming. Interesting story. Phillies interested in Pete Alonso. Could you imagine that in that yard? Orioles, who desperately need a veteran presence with power in their young batting order, they're interested. And the one that makes the most sense to me, see the Green Monster, Fenway Park?
Oh.
Red Sox.
Wow.
So keep an eye on Pete Alonso. And, of course, Boras represents the Japanese left-handed pitcher, Imai. Going to be interesting to see how this works out. Second day of press conferences, Scott Boras holds a whole dialogue addressing the media about gambling. That's all he talked about.
Good.
And he indicated Major League Baseball, despite all of its deals with casinos and everything, has to get in place a complete ban on that type of betting where you make a small individual bet on one pitch, one at bat, whatever. Get rid of it, get it out of baseball, because Boras says the integrity of this game is more important than anything else. And he believes this is the tip of the iceberg, that this mess with the Cleveland pitchers could be repeated virtually anywhere. Just, quote, end prop betting in baseball. So that's what he had to say there. Briefly elsewhere, let's start with the Boston Red Sox logo. 2 storylines, Boston. Craig Breslow, their new general manager. We will get a first baseman. Sure does look like Pete Alonso, Fenway Park. And we will get a pitcher. Rumors everywhere because they are so deep in the farm system. Mailing address, Mackenzie Gore, Washington Nationals. Fenway Park. Washington's going to trade him because ownership doesn't want to spend to re-sign him to a contract extension. I went through a list last night. Boston's young batting order includes Jaron Duran, Roman Anthony, Marcellus May, Ced Rafaela. That's 4 of the young kids. It doesn't include a whole bunch of others coming out of the farm system. They are just loaded with people. I think they're going to use 1 or 2 of these people maybe in the Mackenzie Core deal. New York Mets, they're interested in the Japanese pitcher. They're using their Japanese pitcher, Kodai Senga, as the point man for negotiations with Imai. Everybody's got an inside track of the Japanese left-hander, the Mets think. And the Mets are going to be active. They're going to go get more pitching. Pittsburgh, it's a weird story. He just won the Cy Young Award. Teammates dropped the hint that Paul Skenes was so tired of losing that Skenes made a comment, I'd like to pitch for the Yankees or Mets because I don't believe that Bob Nutting, the owner, is committed to winning.
Yeah.
That's a pretty strong statement when your top player and they're building everything around him, just drops those hints. Now, Skenes has come back, kind of taken that back and said, well, sometimes during the long losing streaks, you speak out of frustration, etc. He says, my focus is trying to make the Pirates a winner. And the Pirates say, by the way, he is not being traded. Houston, not afraid to spend money. Houston moves to the inside track. I was told may have already made an offer to Dylan Cease. Suddenly, Astros are interested in Cease. I think the Cubs backed away when the rumor last week was Cease was asking for a 5-year contract. I'm not giving Dylan Cease a 5-year contract. Houston evidently has got the inside track there. And Miami, we talk about trades. This is where all the groundwork for trades is made now. So when they go to the winter baseball meetings in a couple weeks, triggers will be pulled. They're shopping both Sandy Alcantara and Edwin Cabrera. One of them is probably going to be traded by Miami. Alcantara had fought for 2 years to get back from surgery. Took him half of last year to find himself, but he was really dominant from that point on. So that's the baseball notebook. You want to talk about Boras? Go ahead.
Yeah, I like the fact that Boras was addressing gambling. I mean, that's good. That's good for the sport. And, he plays a role in this whole business of the game, and so he wants integrity. So, yeah, good for him. But you said that Pete Alonso to the Phillies? I mean, that's Bryce Harper, first base. I mean, so is this part of the rumor that, Harper's time is done in Philly?
No, I think it's part of the rumor Schwarber might be moving on.
Interesting.
Now, I don't know that the Polar Bear is a great first baseman, but in that ballpark, my everyday DH, damn.
Yeah, that'd be hella good. Yeah.
I mean, you'd miss 56 home runs from Schwarber, but I mean, Schwarber's no Gold Glover in the outfield for certain.
No.
So that bears watching. I think the Polar Bear is going to get a lot of offers.
I think so too. And when you remember no one really wanted to sign him last offseason. He signed late, but it was like one deal a year, and it was a 3-year deal, but every year kind of reset, right?
Opt out. Yep.
He had the opt-outs. And so all the other interesting storylines, but it's funny how all these teams are jockeying for position to, get a Japanese, pitcher, and you end up having it's like going to a bar to pick up girls. You need like a wingman out there to help introduce you to the person that you want to meet.
You're speaking from experience. You failed at that? Okay, baseball fans, I'll tell you this, because our following is unbelievable in terms of the baseball fans. When you need to know, we want you to check my website. I write about baseball every day of the week on LeeHacksawHamilton.com. Fans Forum chat box is open. We just threw a lot of storylines at you. Jump on board with an opinion.